Hey, do you love apple pie? I know that I do. I made this apple pie oatmeal earlier in the week and my family went crazy for it, so much that Mike was trotting around the gym having everybody smell his apple pie oatmeal. And from that, I've gotten several requests to show them how I made it. So the inspiration for the recipe, which I will include, came from my new favorite cookbook, which is Run Fast, Cook Fast, Eat Slow. And it's super simple to make. I've modified kind of the instructions. I'll show you a video here of how I make it, and then I'll share the actual recipe with you. So it starts with just some apples. Normally I would batch cook this, and it would be, I'd do like probably enough for 8 servings, which would mean it would be 4 breakfasts for Mike and I, and then the kids would just nibble off of it. But for this purpose, I already have a big, huge batch in my refrigerator. I'm just gonna make 1 serving. So I would do 1 serving would be an entire apple, 1/4 cup of oats, some nuts, and some chia seeds. So I hope you can see here, I'm just chopping up this apple, super quick. And I'm gonna throw it in my saute pan with some butter. Butter, you say? I normally cook with organic grass-fed butter, and I recently read butter being compared to a superfood. I've learned that butter is actually high in antioxidants, and it has anti-inflammatory benefits. It's high in vitamin A, D, and E, and vitamin A. So I call that winning. So anyway, here's my saute pan. I've got the apples going in. I'm going to rough chop up some almonds, only because I used up all of the walnuts that I had earlier. You want to make sure that when you're making oatmeal that you get a good source of protein in here, because you'll get carbs from the apples and from the oats, and you want to make sure you have a nicely balanced meal. So really my preference would be walnuts, but I'm using almonds for this because it's my only choice here. And I'm just gonna put them in this skillet here, and those are gonna toast up really nicely as the apples are getting a nice saute. And I'm gonna use my favorite wooden spoon to give these a move around, get things moving nicely. Mike and I bought this when we first started dating at a craft fair, and we've had it ever since. It's my favorite, feels really good in my hand. So I'm just gonna let those apples wilt down, saute a little bit, and let the nuts toast up nicely. Okay, so these have sauteed down nicely. My almonds have toasted up great. And so remember, I'm doing just 1 serving, even though normally I would batch cook here. So 1 serving of oats is 1/2 cup. So I'll add my oats in here. And I like to let my oats toast just super quickly. So this is gonna get really dry. You kind of wanna move fast. And I have a tea kettle behind me, and I've already preheated the water. So I've learned that in general, when you're cooking a grain, it's a 1-to-2 ratio. So 1 of whatever your grain is, and then double the amount for the amount of water. So that's what I will do here. Just gonna add, that was 1/2 cup of my grain, and I'm going to add 1 cup of water, because the grain's gonna absorb all of that water. And I'll let it keep cooking. My apples are gonna continue to soften, and it is going to be amazing. So, this is when the magic happens. This is my favorite spice company. Allison Hopkins, who's our franchisee in Brunswick, she actually introduced me to these spices, and they're amazing. I don't know what they do, but they're all organic, and this is like an apple pie spice. So it has cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and mace, and it's just absolutely incredible. I feel like I really could put this on anything and people would go wild over it. So I like a generous serving of this apple pie spice. You probably heard me talk about the benefits of cinnamon before, but cinnamon's great for you. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it helps balance out your blood sugar levels throughout the day. So I'm gonna give this a little stir, let that bubble a little bit. And in all of my recipes, I'm always looking for ways that I can bump up the nutrition levels. So I'm gonna include chia seeds in this as well. So a teaspoon or so, maybe more. Chia seeds are one of the superfoods, and one of the things that I really like about chia seeds is it thickens any recipe. So this is gonna become like a real thick, delicious, hearty apple pie oatmeal situation. So there we go. So as soon as the water has absorbed into the oats, you're good to go. And what I do, since I like to batch cook, is I would either put this into a big container or I'd put it into small mason jars. Small mason jars is ideal because then you're good to go in the morning. But I didn't have mason jars this week. So I'm showing you, this doesn't look that appetizing, but this is the batch that I cooked earlier in the week. And you can see we've kind of like spooned off chunks. So it is gonna be kind of chunky like this when you go to cook it, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna spoon this into your bowl and microwave it for however long it takes to get it warm. We have a really low powered microwave, it takes us forever. And then kind of mix it, break it apart and mix it in with some milk. And then that's when the magic happens, it gets really creamy that way. If you have this in a mason jar, you can just microwave the mason jar, add some milk, put the cover back on, and then shake, 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 shake. And that's it. I hope you love it. Let me know how it is. Apple pie oatmeal, it's gonna be amazing.